Alright, well, here we go again. In a previous video you saw me kind of unpackaging some worms that I've got from Green Greg. Green Greg has got a bunch of videos on YouTube. He's also got a website, and he's a really good deal on red wiggler worms. I'm really happy with those. I've had them for about 2 months now. They're in the back tote there, and I harvested that bin one time using my screens, and I got about a half a tote in 2 months. I just harvested the other day. In 2 months I got about a half a tote of castings, so I'm really happy with how well those red wigglers are doing. Mostly I'm just feeding them, I'm using very well composted horse manure. It's really old stuff, and that's their bedding. They're eating that, and then I'm supplementing them with some chicken feed, and they're doing really good. I've actually been fishing with those worms lately, and I've been catching some walleye, so I'm using them to walleye fish. I'm tipping jigs with red worms. I've never fished with red worms before. I've always used night crawlers, so got the red worms. I figured I'd try it, and you know, I'm really happy with how they're doing, but they could be a little bit bigger. And I've always kind of thought that when I was looking at, you know, all this starting with worms, and what I really wanted was night crawlers. I tried to keep some night crawlers that I found out in the yard. They're really hard to keep. I have terrible luck trying to keep night crawlers that I've you know, picked in the yard. I've kept night crawlers, you know, that I bought in the store with about the same success. A few weeks, and just no matter what I do with them, they end up starting to die off. So I'm going to try, and what I really wanted to try was the European night crawlers. They're a little bigger than a red wiggler. They're not quite as big as the Canadian night crawlers or our native night crawlers here in Indiana. But those night crawlers are a little bit big, and for the jigs that I'm using, normally I'm using 1/32 ounce is a very small jig for me. Occasionally I'll use those. Normally it's 1/16, 1/8, and a quarter. And a Canadian night crawler is huge. The diameter of one of those things is really big for a 1/16 ounce jig. So I really want to try these European night crawlers. I don't know if I've ever fished with them before. I know some folks market them as fishing worms. I don't know if I've ever had any in my hand and didn't realize it, but I've ordered these off of Amazon. Let's get back to the point of this. I ordered this off of Amazon. I've covered up my name and address with some post-it notes. They just came in. The guy just dropped them off, and we can see that they're from Hanover, PA. Marked perishable. FedEx came. I think they took a little over 2 days. Feels like the box is very soft in here. These are from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. I would have ordered from Green Greg's again because I'm so happy with how the red wigglers are doing. But Green Greg's doesn't offer European night crawlers, so I went with Amazon on these. I figured I'd give them a shot. So let's open this up. I got my scale there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. I'll tell you what, I'll try to show you. I've got it zeroed out. There we go. You can see it zeroed out, and I've got a little pan on it, and I've got my screen here. So we're gonna see if we got what we paid for. Now I ordered 1 pound of worms. Now I'm not real particular about, you know, size of them so much as I want a pound. I paid for a pound. I want a pound. Inside the packaging here is wet, so that's probably not a very good sign. You can see there's water droplets there. This box is very mushy. There's a cardboard box. There's condensation or water droplets all over inside that bag. I'm not terribly thrilled about that. Our weather is not, it's not excessively hot or cold. We've been running in the mid-60s around here. I'm in Indiana. These come from Pennsylvania. 3 days, probably we're experiencing pretty moderate temperatures. Okay, worm advisory, we guarantee live delivery. There you go. That's great to see because they did not advertise that on the Amazon listing. I was really looking for a guarantee. So apparently they are guaranteed. So your worms have been shipped in dry peat moss. If they seem small and scrawny, it's normal. Been an average of 4 days since they've had food and water. They'll regain their size within 2 days. So this is not dry peat moss. This is wet. Okay, so we're going to get this out of the way. Or maybe if it started out dry, something got spilled on it, but this is definitely wet. The bag is really nice. It's a breathable bag. Some kind of mesh bag. Now I'm not a super huge sissy about getting my hands dirty and everything, but I've got gloves, so I might as well wear gloves if I've got them, right? So I'm wearing, just to keep my hands from getting super dirty, filthy here. Okay, I see some movement down in there. And I see a lot of movement down in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. I'm going to dump them. This is my 1/8 inch screen. I'm going to dump them on the screen, and we'll try to measure out the amount of worms we got. Now these are pretty good sized critters here. I like what I see. These are not little baby, you know, a pound of little tiny ones. I'll be taking some of these worms fishing tomorrow, so I'm really happy with what I see. These are fishing sized worms. Okay, looks like we got everybody out of there. The peat is pretty dry, and I don't know if it's showing up or not, but there's a lot of motion here. They're moving a lot, so see if we can get some of this bedding off of them. Bump the scale. I'll make sure I re-zero that. Okay, yep. Back to zero. I am really happy with what I'm seeing. These guys are lively. There's a bunch of them. Let's move my scale out a little bit. Zero just to make sure. And the size of these things, I'm really happy about this. Now we're going to get a little bit of bedding material here, and that's okay. Trying to sneak through that 1/8 inch. I have found if you leave worms laying in these screens for any amount of time, they do sneak through. We got a straggler here. Okay, so we're looking at, with a little bit of bedding there, not a lot, we're looking at 1 pound and almost 2 ounces. They look good. There's not a lot of bedding in there. They look good. I'm pretty happy with this. So we'll, what is that yellow stuff in there? Corn hulls maybe? Maybe they're feeding them, I don't know. We'll go ahead and bring them over here to our prepared worm bed. Now this is going to be hard to see because it's dark down here in the basement and I've only got the one light. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to dump them in on top. The bedding material that I'm using, I had been using horse manure. These guys, I'm going to go ahead and put them in peat. There, I got my flashlight clicked on. You can see just how lively they are. I am really, really happy with them. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll spread them out a little bit here. We'll make sure they get down in the bedding good. We'll get them spread apart here so they don't just clump up. Oh yeah, they look great. So if you guys are looking for a source for European Nightcrawlers, from what I see here, you know, I highly recommend buying them off of Amazon. I think they were $45 with shipping, and they shipped in 2 days, I think. So yeah, give them a shot. I mean, you could go, I don't see any little ones here. You could go fishing with every one of these worms. So this is 1 pound of excellent sized. You know, if you weren't fishing with them, I mean, these are perfect breeding size. So I'm really happy. This is 1 pound of healthy, large worms, European Nightcrawlers. So we'll see how they do down here. Hopefully they do as good as the red wigglers did. And again, the red wigglers they've been in that tote there down here. I feed them every couple of days, and they've been doing great. So hopefully these European Nightcrawlers will do just as good. I'll update you guys in maybe in a month or two on how they're doing, and you know, how they compare with the how the Europeans compare with the red wigglers. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more videos of me messing with worms, or it's breeding season for my pheasants. I'm gathering eggs, and actually I've got my first batch of pheasants due to hatch today. So I may make some videos on the babies out in the brooder and stuff like that. Click that subscribe button, you get to see all them videos. And until the next video, guys, keep on tinkering.